Should you hunt the opener? Season's right around the corner. In fact, at the time of recording this, it's Friday, the day before the Wisconsin and the Minnesota, and I believe the Missouri opener. The question is, should you be out there hunting on opening day? I'm going to talk about that real quick. Just try to be more connected with your environment. Try to be more connected with your food. All right, guys and gals, thank you for tuning in. I've had a busy year, busy summer, working on client properties, trying to get stuff done on my own property to improve my odds, obviously, and also the other people that I share the hunting property with, hopefully improve their odds. Got some young, up-and-comer hunters. We got some old, seasoned, but not super experienced hunters. However you want to think about that, just different level of seriousness more than anything else. But I just got back from Canada, really fun, exciting week up there, bear hunting. Just scrambled the last couple of days trying to get a couple more clients in position for success this fall. And I've got some, what I think is pretty exciting stuff coming up that I want to share with you all. But before I get into that, the big question is, should you hunt the opener? You know, again, if you're watching this right now, which I'm doing my best to crank this puppy out and push it out on the interwebs, short and sweet, because I want you to potentially pump the brakes and think about your odds of killing your target buck on opening day, given the specific conditions that opening day is going to offer. So I'm not here to tell you yes or no, but what I am here to tell you is, for me personally, I don't think it's going to be worth hunting opening day. The deer that I'm after has not been super consistent on food sources. I don't want to get too aggressive and go into his bedding area. I don't really know 100% where he's bedding because he hasn't been that consistent yet. That buck in particular is probably going to require a fall shift before he chokes down on his bedding areas and gives me some breadcrumb to follow to figure out what he's actually doing. You might be in that same situation. Now, if you have the intel and you have a plan that's supported by a very strong theory, and all the information that you have, all the stars are lining up, given the up and coming forecasted conditions, i.e. the wind, the weather, and whatever else is going on in your property with the food, the pressure, and all that, that might say that the best timing to kill your deer is tomorrow on opening day, or maybe Sunday, or maybe it's Tuesday. I don't know. But looking ahead at the weather this week, it's supposed to warm up. You know, we just had a cold front roll through here. It cooled off. Deer activity went up. I've been talking to a lot of guys that are seeing their target bucks on food sources right now, and that's great. But things are going to warm up a little bit this weekend, and that could slow that activity down again. So don't chase them this early. Try to get ahead of them later on when you have better information, or again, when your plan that is supported by a very strong theory, when that all comes together. And we got to think about those 4 key elements: wind, pressure, food, and timing. Right now, if you go jumping in there with both feet, that's a lot of pressure, and you're going to set yourself up for failure throughout the season. But if you have that intel that says that you have the right timing, then maybe go for it. I just want you to pump the brakes and think about that. Now, I am going to be dropping something next week. I'm excited. Finally get things rolling here. Finally able to invest a little bit more time in this, but I am starting a new podcast. It's a video podcast. It is going to wrap around a lot of topics in the hunting world, the outdoor world, in the habitat world. Some of these are going to be somewhat controversial. I don't listen to a ton of podcasts, but I see ramblings on social media from time to time, and I don't think there's anything else out there like it. And I certainly know that there's not a lot of other people talking about the things that we will be talking about on this podcast. And I've got a sweet lineup of guests. I'm really excited to bring it to you. But along with those conversations, this whole podcast is going to be geared around this planner. Not specifically this planner, but the concept of having a good plan. And I'm going to teach you everything that I do to put together the best plan possible. So again, back to that early season stuff, this was a early season buck that had a very good plan. This was an early season buck that had a very good plan. If you have a good plan, go for it, but just be aware that pressure always limits potential on your property or wherever you're hunting. It might even be public land. So don't pull the trigger too soon, okay? Think about that. And then tune back in on Monday, because you're gonna love what I'm throwing out for you. And I'm gonna share a lot more. I'm gonna go into a lot more depth on Monday. I'm gonna break it all down, and I promise you, it is going to be unlike any other podcast that you follow or pay attention to. So you can come back here on the YouTube channel, or when Monday rolls around, jump on your favorite podcast streaming platform and look for the Untamed Ambition podcast. Thanks for watching. And if you do get out this weekend, best of luck to you. Send pictures my way, send some video my way. Good luck. But remember, if you don't have that intel, you might be better off sitting on the couch or sitting in the truck in a far off distance and glassing. Or, if you really are itching to get out there, which I think it's a good thing to take some practice runs every year, knock the rust off. If you're itching to get out there, go to a spot that's not going to affect the activity in your good hunting spots. Throw up a tree stand on a field edge, observation stand, maybe you have a chance. Maybe not, but you can see, gain more intel. What I don't want you to do is go chasing a buck that you got pictures of on your food source an hour before dark earlier this week when there was a cold front, and then you're going to get out there this weekend when things have warmed up and blow him off that food source because he's going to show up there late as you're leaving, and it's not going to be good. It could screw up your season, or at the very least, ruin your chances of harvesting your target buck in the early season. So stay tuned. Take a look at that weather. Again, if it doesn't look good, then don't hunt this weekend. Use that time, check off some boxes on that honey-do list, get caught up on everything. I personally still need to do my laundry, but again, there was no rush because I don't feel like this weekend's gonna be worth going out there and putting pressure on the property. But again, stay tuned, come back on Monday. I'm gonna have a lot more information for you. If you don't know what I'm talking about as far as what to look for with the weather, come back on Monday. We'll start talking about that. This is going to teach you everything, okay? I'm going to teach you everything. This is basically the workbook that follows all the stuff that I do. It's what I give all my clients. It's available for you. You don't have to buy it if you don't want to. I'm going to give you all that information. I'm going to walk you through the season with how I do things. And I'm going to go in a lot more depth on how different this is and how effective this podcast is going to be to you and your success this season. So, see you on Monday. And again, if you go out this weekend, good luck.